Hi dear friends, in the last video we discussed about Faraday's first law and its problems, and in today's class, that is lecture number 12, we'll start with Faraday's second law. Right, first we'll try to understand this diagram. Here I have taken 1, 2, 3 different electrolytic cells have used. In the first electrolytic cell I have taken aqueous copper sulfate as an electrolyte. In the second cell I have taken aqueous silver nitrate as an electrolyte. In third cell I have taken aqueous zinc sulfate as an electrolyte. Right. Now here all three electrolytic cells are connected in a series manner. And now what happened? Then into all these electrolytic cells I am sending same amount of current. Same amount of current we are sending into all three different electrolytic cells. This same word is very important. Right, now what happened? Here electrolysis process takes place. Here also electrolysis process takes place. Of course, here also electrolysis process takes place. Then if electrolysis process takes place, what happened then? Then at electrodes, their corresponding products are obtained. Here at anode one product and cathode another products are obtained. Then as far as aqueous copper sulfate is concerned, during its electrolysis process, which products are obtained already known to you. Now as far as aqueous copper sulfate is concerned, at cathode here copper will be deposited, and at anode oxygen gas will be liberated. This process already we have discussed in our last videos. Come here. As far as the aqueous silver nitrate is concerned, then at cathode silver metal will be deposited. Then as far as anode is concerned, then aqueous silver nitrate, oxygen gas will be liberated. Last, aqueous zinc sulfate solution. If it is aqueous zinc sulfate solution, at cathode zinc metal will be deposited, at anode oxygen gas will be liberated. Right. Once again, here three different electrolytic cells have taken. All three different electrolytic cells are connected to the battery, and from that battery same amount of current we are sending into three different electrolytic cells. Now in all electrolytic cells, what happens? Electrolysis process takes place, and because of electrolysis process at respected electrodes, their corresponding products are obtained. That's why in the first cell, copper as well as oxygen are forming. In the second cell, silver and again oxygen is forming, and in third cell, zinc and oxygen is forming. Right. Now, what is second law of Faraday? Very simple. Then whatever the amount of substance deposited at cathode or anode doesn't matter. Then that mass or that amount is directly proportional to its equivalent mass. I'll repeat. Whatever the amount of substance deposited or liberated is equals to its equivalent mass. For example, here how much copper is depositing means its equivalent mass amount will be deposited. Then how much, copper equivalent mass how much means equivalent mass of copper equal to atomic mass divided by 2. Valency nothing but. That is 63.5 divided by 2, 31.75. Means how much copper is depositing here? 31.75 grams of copper deposited at cathode. What about anode? At anode, oxygen is liberating. How much oxygen is liberating? Again, it's equivalent mass only. Then oxygen equivalent mass is 8 grams. Means here 8 grams of oxygen is liberating in the first container. That's why when the same amount of current is passed, the amount of substance deposited or liberated will be equals to their equivalent masses in the second container. How much silver deposited? Again, it is equals to its equivalent mass. As far as silver is concerned, equivalent mass is equals to atomic mass by valency. 108 is atomic mass, valency is 108 only. Therefore, silver 108 grams of silver will be deposited. Where at cathode? Then what about anode? Anode again same, oxygen only. 8 grams of oxygen is liberated. Then at anode in the second cell. Come here in the last cell. Here what happened then? At cathode zinc is depositing. How much is zinc deposit then? Again it is equals to its equivalent mass. See here, equivalent mass of zinc is equals to atomic mass divided by valency. Atomic mass is 65.39 divided by 2, nothing but 32.69. Then here zinc is nearly 32.69 grams of substance deposited at cathode, and at anode again oxygen 8 grams of oxygen is liberating. That's it. This is only called as the second law of Faraday. I'll repeat. Here are two things we have to remember. One is, whatever the electrolytic cells we are using, all electrolytic cells should be connected in the series. That is first point. Second point is, in all electrolytic cells we have to send same quantity of current. These two are very important things, remember. Same quantity of current if you send, then at respected electrodes, whatever the substances are deposited or liberated is equals to its equivalent mass. Means whatever the amount of substance deposited is directly proportional to their corresponding equivalent masses. Therefore, we write like this: mass of copper is directly proportional to equivalent mass of copper, and mass of oxygen is directly proportional to equivalent mass of oxygen in the first cell. In the second cell, mass of silver is directly proportional to equivalent mass of silver, as well as the mass of oxygen is also equals to equivalent mass of oxygen. And in the last container, last electrolytic cell, mass of zinc is directly proportional to equivalent mass of zinc. Here also oxygen only liberated, that's why mass of oxygen is directly proportional to equivalent mass of oxygen. Right. Now, then same second law of Faraday also we can take or we can deduce from first law also, like this. That is W. I'll write here first law of Faraday. Faraday's first law formula I am writing here. W is equals to capital E divided by 96487 into IT into I into T. Now in place of IT I'll write Q. Q. Of course, it is the first law of Faraday. Now, from this first law, we can derive the second law formula. How? Because in the second law, we are sending the same amount of current. That's why, whatever the Q value is there, Q will be fixed. Q is a constant. Q constant and 96487 is also constant. If both are constant values, then we can say that W proportional to E. That's it. Okay, from first law, second law we have deduced. Why? Because here Q is constant, same amount of current we are sending. That's why it is constant. It is also constant. Automatically we can write W proportional to E, or W equal to some constant into E we can write. Now, based on this, we'll write the generalized formula of second law of Faraday. That is W1 by E1 is equals to W2 divided by E2 is equals to W3 divided by E3 is the formula for second law of Faraday. What is W1? Mass of substance 1 divided by equivalent mass of substance 1. Mass of substance 2 divided by equivalent mass of substance 2. Same, mass of substance 3 divided by equivalent mass of substance 3. Of course, say it is in first container, it is a second container, it is a third container, like that we can take. Now, based on this, we will define what is second law of Faraday. Very simple. When same amount of current is passing into different electrolytic cells which are connected in series, then the amount of substance deposited is directly proportional to their equivalent masses. That's it. I'll repeat. When same amount of current is passing into different electrolytic cells which are connected in series, then the amount of substances deposited is directly proportional to their equivalent masses. This is a second law of Faraday. Of course, the second law of Faraday we have taken even from first law of Faraday also. Why? Because here Q is constant. Therefore, W proportional to E we can write. Therefore, the final formula how to write W1 by E1 is equals to W2 by E2 is equals to W3 by E3, or we can also continue W4 by E4, etc. Also we can continue. Right. Now, based on second law of Faraday, we'll solve some questions. Right, question I'll write here. When same amount of electricity is passed through solutions of aqueous copper sulfate and silver nitrate, 32 milligrams of copper is deposited on the cathode in the first case, in the first cell. Also we can write otherwise. First cell. Calculate the mass of silver deposited in the second cell. In the second cell. That's all. This is the question. First, we'll try to understand the given data clearly. When same amount of electricity if given, we can directly take it as a second law of Faraday only. Yeah, is passed through solutions of aqueous copper sulfate and aqueous silver nitrate. Means he is using here two electrolytic cells and both electrolytic cells are connected in the series. And here what happened? 32 milligrams of copper is deposited on the cathode in the first cell. In first cell, electrolysis process occurs. In second cell also electrolysis process takes place. But in the first cell, after electrolysis process, is telling that 32 milligrams of substance is depositing. And is asking that calculate mass of silver deposited in the second cell. In the first cell, copper has deposited. In the second cell, how much silver will be deposited? He is asking. Very simple. Very simple. Answer is like this. Then diagram will understand first of all like this. It is a copper sulfate solution, of course, aqueous copper sulfate, and it is an aqueous silver nitrate solution. Is a plus, minus, that's all. And here both electrolytic cells are connected in the series, and from the battery same amount of current we are sending, and after what happened here electrolysis takes place, here also electrolysis takes place. At cathode, of course, copper deposited. How much copper deposited? He has given 32 milligrams. That is very important. 32 milligrams of copper deposited here, and is asking how much silver deposited in the second cell is asking. That's it. Now we will calculate. We will write first given data. Mass of W is nothing but mass, E is nothing but equivalent mass. Symbols. Mass of copper already given, that is a 32 milligrams. Then this milligrams will convert into grams. Therefore, that is equals to 32 into 10 to the power of minus 3 grams. Why? Because 1 milligram is equals to 10 to the power of minus 3 grams. And is asking mass of silver is question mark. And simultaneously, we have to write another values also. They are corresponding equivalent masses. Equivalent mass of copper. Sir, equivalent mass of copper has not given or not? Yes, equivalent mass values will not be given in the question that we have to write because they are standard values. Equivalent mass of copper, that is nothing but atomic mass divided by valency, is actually 31.75. Then a round figure value I am taking as 32, especially here. We'll see why it is taking like that. Next, equivalent mass of silver. Equivalent mass of silver is nothing but atomic mass 108 divided by 1. It is nothing but 108 only. This is the question and given data. Now we'll select its appropriate formula. Then I will continue here only. Formula is like this: mass of copper divided by equivalent mass of copper is equals to mass of silver divided by equivalent mass of silver. Just like W1 by E1 is equals to W2 by E2. That's all. Mass of copper, how much? 32 into 10 to the power of minus 3 divided by equivalent mass of copper. Equivalent mass of copper is actually 31.75, but I have taken as 32. It's a near round figure value. I'll write here 32 only is equals to mass of silver. That only we have to calculate. Mass of silver divided by equivalent mass of silver, that is 108. Okay. Now here mass of silver will bring LHS. Mass of silver is equals to, then 32 we can cancel, and if you multiply these two values, 108 into 10 to the power of minus 3, you will get a 0.108 grams is your answer. That's all. Means how much copper deposited? 32 into 10 to minus 3 grams of copper deposited in the first cell. In the second cell, how much silver is depositing? 0.108 grams of silver is depositing. That's all. Okay? This is purely based on second law of Faraday. Right. Now we'll go to another question. Second question: when same amount of electricity is passed through the solutions of copper sulfate and HCl, then 64 milligrams of copper is deposited on the cathode in the first cell. Calculate the volume of hydrogen obtained in the second cell at STB is the question. Right. Very simple. When same amount of electricity, again we have to use Faraday's second law only, is passed through solutions of, one is copper sulfate, one is HCl, like this. It is one container, it is another container. In the first container, copper sulfate solution has taken, of course aqueous only. In the second container, HCl solution has taken. And electrodes are dipole like this, connected again as it is. It is a plus, it is minus, it is plus, it is minus. Then here what happened? Copper is depositing. Then he is asking, calculate the volume of hydrogen. Here what happened? Hydrogen is depositing here. Hydrogen mass is obtained first based on second law of Faraday. But in the question, I'll repeat once again. Here copper mass already has given in the question. Based on this copper mass, hydrogen mass we can calculate by using second law of Faraday. But in the question, he has not asked the mass, he has asked calculate volume of hydrogen obtained in the second cell. Means whatever the hydrogen we are getting here, its volume is asking. Okay. In the first cell, mass information has given. In the second cell, instead of mass, he has asked its corresponding volume. That's why we'll do one thing. We'll do one thing. Here as it is, first we'll find the mass only, remember. Okay? Like previous question type, first we'll find as it is mass. After getting of mass value, that mass will convert into its corresponding volume. Right. We'll write its data first of all. Then 64 milligrams of copper. Mass of copper 64 milligrams. Again 10 to the power of minus 3 grams. And equivalent mass of copper. Equivalent mass of copper is nothing but 31.75. Again I am taking a round figure value 32. Next. And mass of hydrogen. That only we are calculating. Of course. After getting of mass value, we will convert it into volume. But first we have to calculate mass. Next, equivalent mass of hydrogen is equals to 1. Equivalent mass of hydrogen is equals to 1. Because atomic mass 1 divided by valence is also 1 only. 1 by 1, 1. Suppose here if you take H2, again there is a important point for you. Equivalent mass of hydrogen atom, equivalent mass of hydrogen molecule. We'll see the difference. Here I have taken gas. Gas is nothing but molecular state we have to use. Then suppose atom means equivalent mass, atomic mass divided by valency is equals to of course 1. Then as far as molecule is concerned, then how much equivalent mass we will get is question mark. Very simple. Then here as far as molecule is concerned, we have to consider molecular mass divided by valency. How much we have to write? Don't write valency 1. 1 is for atom, then here for molecule, its valency is 2. That's why we have to write 2. Just like see here, H2, by losing 2 electrons converted to H plus. When you are using the molecule, its valency is 2. That's why 2 by 2. Again, we will get 1 only. Means it may be atom or molecule, doesn't matter. Equivalent mass remains same. Therefore, here 1 by 1 that is nothing but 1 or 2 by 2 is nothing but 1. Okay, we will take as it is our formula. Mass of copper divided by equivalent mass of copper is equals to mass of hydrogen divided by equivalent mass of hydrogen. We will substitute the values. Mass of copper is 64 into 10 to the power of minus 3. And divided by equal mass is 32 is equals to mass of hydrogen, that only we are calculating, divided by 1 equivalent mass. Then 32 2s are. Therefore, mass of hydrogen is equals to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3 grams. You are getting it. But in the question, in the last line, calculate volume of hydrogen obtained in the second cell at STP. But here here then the amount, there is nothing but mass of hydrogen is obtained. Now whatever the hydrogen we are getting here, I mean mass we are getting, that mass will try to convert into its corresponding volume. Okay, up to here there is no any difficulty. Here mass has given as it is, we have written equivalent mass is fixed, constant 32. Mass of hydrogen first we are calculating, equivalent mass is constant again 1, and we have taken the second law of Faraday formula, and in that formula if you substitute, mass of hydrogen is obtained in the units of grams. Right. Now how to convert this mass into volume we'll see now. At STP as mentioned again, at standard temperature and pressure, generally see here 1 mole of any gas, here our gas is hydrogen of course, 1 mole of hydrogen gas at STP occupies how much volume? 22.4 liters volume at STP, it is fixed. 1 mole of any gas, it may be hydrogen gas, oxygen gas, carbon dioxide gas, any gas if you consider, then at STP 22.4 liters volume will be occupied. Right. 1 mole hydrogen gas means, what is its mass? 1 mole hydrogen gas mass is nothing but its molecular mass. I'll repeat, 1 mole of H2 mass is nothing but its molecular mass. Then hydrogen molecular mass is already known to you, 2 grams. Therefore we will write like this, for 2 grams we can write 1 mole, that is 2 grams of hydrogen occupies 22.4 liters at STP of course, at STP. But in the question, how much mass of hydrogen is obtained? 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 grams of hydrogen is obtained. Therefore, we will write like this, 2 grams per plus 22.4 and 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3 grams of hydrogen per plus, how much volume will be occupied? 2 grams per plus 22.4 liters and 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3 grams per plus, how much volume will be occupied? That is equals to this value into that value divided by this value. 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3 into 22.4 divided by 2. Then here 2 to cancel, if you do, then 22.4 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Therefore, volume is volume of hydrogen at STP is equals to 22.4 into 10 to the power of minus 3 liters. Or if you take 22,400 milliliters, you will get corresponding milliliters only. That's all. Okay. Then he has asked volume. Then the same volume we have calculated after getting of mass. This is the method. That's why first you have to understand the question clearly, whether he has asked mass or volume. Whatever it may be, first you have to calculate mass. After getting of mass, we'll just convert into its corresponding volume. That's all. Next question we'll see. Now we'll see some mixed questions. Mixed. Here, question is when a current of 3 amperes is passed through silver nitrate solution for 20 minutes, then 4 grams of silver deposited. Calculate electrochemical equivalent of silver is the question. See, when a current of 3 amperes is passed through silver nitrate solution for 20 minutes, 4 grams of silver deposited. Calculate electrochemical equivalent. Electrochemical equivalent symbol is Z. Right. Now we'll recall formula. W is equals to ZIT is our formula. Now he is asking us Z. Z is equals to W divided by I into T. Then W is nothing but mass. How much deposited then? 20 grams. Therefore Z is equals to 4 grams. 4 divided by current. Current is in 20 minutes has given. And the thing is current is 3 amperes. 3 amperes. Then time is nothing but 20 minutes. Then if current is in amperes, time should be in seconds. Therefore 20 minutes, 20 into 60 we have to do that. That is equals to, then your answer is 1.11 into 10 to the power of minus 3 grams per coulomb. That's all. Once again, when a current of 3 amperes is passed through silver nitrate solution for 20 minutes, 4 grams of silver is deposited. Calculate electrochemical equivalent of silver. Then we have already formula based on Faraday's first law. Then W equal to ZIT. Z is nothing but W by IT. W is nothing but a mass. Mass is 4 grams. Already given the question. And I is a current in amperes. There is a 3 amperes as given. And T for time in seconds. But the question has given the minutes. That minutes by multiplying with the 60 converted into seconds. And after simplification we are getting 1.1 into 10 to minus 3 gram per coulomb. Right. Next. Next question is like this. A current of 2 amperes is passed for 1 hour through a solution of molten AlCl3 has a current efficiency of 50%. Find the amount of aluminum deposited at cathode. That's all. This is the question. First again I will try to understand the question. A current of 2 amperes, I value has given, is passed for 1 hour. 1 hour means that 1 hour time will convert into seconds. 1 into 60 into again 60, right? Through a solution of molten AlCl3. Molten or fused AlCl3 means here fused AlCl3 undergoing electrolysis process has a current efficiency of 50%. It is a new point for you people there. Then current efficiency 50%. How, I mean, what we have to do, we'll see then. Find the amount of aluminum deposited at cathode. He is asking W value. Right. First we'll collect the information, collect the data. Then 2 amperes has given current. I is equals to 2 amperes. There is no doubt in that. 2 amperes. Remaining time 1 hour. That is nothing but 1 into 60 into 60 seconds. If current is in amperes, time should be in the seconds. Next is asking the W. Mass of aluminium is a question mark. And here equivalent mass of aluminium is also needed. Equivalent mass of aluminium has not given the question, but we can write that value. How? Atomic mass of aluminium is 27 divided by valency of aluminium is 3. Then how we are knowing valency? Means from AlCl3. AlCl3, in that Al is having a plus 3. Al valency is 3. That's why divided by 3. 27 by 3 is nothing but a 9. Up to here there is no any problem. Now the problem is telling that current efficiency of 50%. Current efficiency is not 100%, it is only 50%. If current efficiency is 100%, then I value will write as it is 2 amperes. I'll repeat. If a current efficiency is 100%, I value will take as it is 2 amperes. But here 50% efficiency only will be there. Therefore, we will just multiply 50 divided by 100. 2 into 50 by 100. 2 into 50 by 100 is nothing but 0, 0, 5 is nothing but 1 ampere we have to consider. Remember. Current I value, don't use 2 amperes. We have to use just 1 ampere only. Why? Because it is not 100% efficiency, it is just 50% efficiency only. Therefore, I value 1 ampere. Now we will take as it is our regular Faraday's first law formula. W, mass of aluminium, is equals to equivalent mass of aluminium divided by 96,487 into I value into I into T is the formula. Because we are solving a mixed problems. Now we will just substitute then. Mass of aluminium is equals to 9 divided by 96,487 into current is just 1 into 60 into 60. Again, if you do simplification, you will get 0.335. 0.335 grams is obtained. Means in molten AlCl3 electrolysis, after all these conditions, how much aluminium will be deposited? Means 0.335 grams of aluminium will be deposited at cathode. Right. Next, right, next important point is that is the quantity of electricity required to deposit 1 mole of a substance at an electrode is equals to NF is the formula. I'll repeat. The quantity of electricity is required to deposit 1 mole of any substance. 1 mole of substance at an electrode, at respective electrode, is equals to NF, N Faradays. Now we will take some examples. Then we will understand clearly. Example number 1. Then I want to deposit 1 mole of silver. 1 mole of silver deposit purpose. How much current is required? How much current is required is nothing but, here as far as silver is concerned, N value is 1 Ag plus. That's why N value is 1, means just needed only 1 Faraday. Our clarity purpose will write like this: Ag plus by taking electron converted to silver. Means here how many moles of electrons are involving? 1 mole of electron only involving. That's why n place we have to substitute with 1. That's it. Second one, another example. 1 mole of copper deposit purpose. See here, Cu plus 2 by taking 2 moles of electrons converted to Cu. Means here how many moles of electrons are involving? 2 moles of electrons are involving. Means n value is 2f. Next, another example will take 1 mole of aluminium is equals to, aluminium means Al plus 3 electrons converted to Al. In this case, how many moles of electrons are involving? 3 moles of electrons means n value is 3. There is nothing but 3f. Means as far as silver is concerned, 1 Faraday current is needed to deposit 1 mole of substance. As far as copper is considered, 2 Faradays needed. As far as aluminum is concerned, 3 Faradays are needed. Right. Now here one important thing, that is first we have to know what is 1 Faraday value. Faraday means Faraday, or we can say 1 Faraday is equals to charge of 1 mole of electrons. That's all. This is the formula. 1 Faraday is nothing but charge of 1 mole of electrons. I'll repeat. Faraday is nothing but 1 Faraday is nothing but charge of 1 mole of electrons. 1 mole is nothing but, we will calculate the 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 is nothing but mole quantity. Just like a dozen is nothing but 12, like that mole is nothing but 6.022 into 10 to 23 mole quantity. Then 1 mole of electrons into 1 electron charge, if you multiply, that is a 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulombs. 6.022 into 10 is 23 per mole, we can write per mole. Therefore, if you multiply both the values, we will get nearly 96,487 coulomb per mole is obtained. This is only 1 Faraday value. 1 Faraday. That's why in Faraday's first law derivation, at one place we have used this one. Either 1 Faraday or 96,487 coulombs of current is passed into electrolytic cell, then the amount of substance deposited is equals to its equivalent mass. That's why either this value or this value, both are same, because 1 Faraday is nothing but charge of 1 mole of electrons. Therefore, 1 electron charge is 1.602 into 10 is minus 19 coulombs. Then 1 mole, that means into mole quantity we have to multiply. You will get a 96,487 coulombs per mole. Right. Not completed. Still will extend that one. But before that, see here the quantity of electricity required to deposit 1 mole of substance. 1 mole of any substance at an electrode is equals to NF. As far as silver is concerned, 1 mole purpose we need 1F, because silver valence is 1. As far as copper is concerned, we need 2F. As far as aluminum is concerned, we need 3F, etc. Suppose if I send, I'll write here. An important point is here. 1 mole substance deposit purpose, we need NF, N Faradays. But if I send only 1 Faraday of current, if I send, how much substance will be deposited? 1 mole deposit purpose, NF is required. If I send only 1 Faraday, how much deposited? Means 1 into 1 divided by N is nothing but 1 by N moles will be deposited. This is very important. 1 Faraday if you send, then 1 by N moles of the substance will be deposited. 1 by N moles is nothing but equivalent, or nothing but a gram equivalent mass of substance deposited. That's why when you are sending 1 Faraday of current, 1 Faraday or 96,487 coulombs of current if you send into electrolytic cell, then the amount of substance deposited is equals to 1 by n moles. Nothing but its equivalent mass. Gram equivalent mass will be deposited. That's all. This is very important point then. Okay, because 1 mole deposit purpose NF, n Faradays. Then I want only 1 Farad. I am just sending only 1 Farad current. How much deposited? How much deposited? 1 by n moles deposited. 1 by n is nothing but its equivalent mass. That's why gram equivalent mass of substance deposited when 1 Faraday of current is passed into electrolytic cell. Now, based on this concept, I will see one or two questions. Next question is like this. One mole of electrons passes through each of the solutions of silver nitrate, copper sulfate and AlCl3 when silver, copper and aluminum are deposited at cathode. The molar ratio of silver, copper and aluminum are question mark. We'll try to understand the question. 1 mole of electrons are passing through each of the solutions of, one is silver nitrate, one is copper sulfate, one is AlCl3 solutions. When silver, copper, aluminum are deposited at cathode, the molar ratio of silver, copper and aluminum are asking. Very simple. We'll just see here. He is sending 1 mole of electrons. 1 mole of electrons is nothing but 1 Faraday of current. Just now we have discussed them. 1 mole nothing but 1 Faraday. When we are sending a 1 Faraday of current, then the amount of substance deposited is equals to its corresponding equivalent mass. Therefore, 1 mole of electrons is nothing but 1 Faraday. 1 Faraday current if you send, the amount of substance deposited will be its corresponding equivalent mass. Therefore, then we will write all equivalent mass. Then he is asking a molar ratio. Molar ratio is asking. Therefore, we will write like this. Just like if you send 1 Faraday, 1 by n moles of the substance deposited. 1 by n moles of the substance deposited because asking molar ratio. Right. Then the first one, as far as the silver is concerned, silver valence is 1 only. 1 by 1 mole only. There is nothing but 1 mole. 1 mole of silver deposited. Next, second one is copper. Copper valence is 2. There is nothing but 2 moles. Sorry. As far as copper is concerned, its valency is 2, but we are using 1 by n. Therefore, you will get 1 by 2 moles of copper deposited. Then as far as aluminum is concerned, 1 by 3 moles of aluminum deposited. By 3 moles of aluminum deposited. Therefore, we will write all the molar ratios. One is 1 is to as well as 1 by 2 is to 1 by 3. And if you multiply all three values with 6 suppose, therefore you will get 6 is to 3 is to 2 is our answer. That's all. Is asking particularly molar ratio. That's why molar ratios we have written. Okay, 1 mole of electrons nothing but 1 Faraday. 1 Faraday is nothing but equivalent mass of substance deposited as far as amount is concerned. But is asking a moles ratio. That's why 1 Faraday, if I send 1 by n moles of substance deposited, 1 by n moles nothing but 1 by 1 moles of silver, 1 by 2 moles of copper, 1 by 3 moles of aluminium. That's why 1 is to 1 by 2 is to 1 by 3 nothing but 6 is to 3 is to 2. Right. Next, one more similar question we'll see there. Next question. Exactly 0.4 electric charge is passed through 3 electrolytic cells connected in a series. First cell contains silver nitrate. Second cell contains copper sulfate. Third cell contains a ferric chloride solution. Then how many grams of each metal will be deposited at cathode. In each cell. That's all. This is a question. We'll try to understand the question. Exactly 0.4 Faradays of electric charge is passing into 3 different electrolytic cells, which are connected in series, of course. Which are connected in series means again which law we have to use? Second law of Faraday we have to use. Therefore, in the first cell he has taken silver nitrate. In the second cell, copper sulfate solution has taken. In the third cell, ferric chloride solution has taken. And all three, of course, they are connected in the series manner. How many grams of each metal will be deposited at their respective cathodes is asking. Right. We'll see the solution like this. Then 0.4 Faradays is sending. First, we will write a standard value. 1 Faraday only I am sending, suppose. How many grams of substance deposited? It's the corresponding equivalent mass of substance deposited. Then in the first cell, silver nitrate. Silver nitrate means at cathode silver will be deposited. Therefore, 1 Faraday means equivalent mass. Equivalent mass is nothing but 108 is atomic mass divided by valence is 1, nothing but 108 only. As far as silver is concerned, atomic mass, equivalent mass both remains same because valence is 1. Next, 1 Faraday only I am sending in the second cell copper sulfate. Copper sulfate means how much then? 63.5 divided by 2, nothing but 31.75. Next, third one, Fe. Like 1 Faraday only if I send, atomic mass of iron is 56 divided by valency is 3. Ferrichloride is nothing but 3. Then its corresponding amount nearly 3 ones are then 2 means 18 point something 18.6 amount will be deposited if you send 1 Faraday into 3 different electrolytic cells, right? But in the question is not sending 1 Faraday, is sending a 0.4 Faradays. 0.4 Faradays purpose we have to calculate. Very simple. We will do like this. Then as far as silver is concerned, 1 Faraday purpose 108 grams for silver. 1 Faraday 108 grams. Then 0.4 Faradays how much? Is nothing but 0.4 into 108. We will see how much we will get. That is our answer then. That is 43.2 grams. Next. Second one is a copper. For copper, same 1 Faraday if you send 31.75 grams. 0.4 Faradays if you send how much? Nothing but 0.4 into 31.75. That is nothing but 12.7 grams. Next, for iron, 1 Faraday if you send 18.6 grams will be deposited. Then if you send 0.4 Faradays, how much? 0.4 into 18.6, nearly you will get 7.4. That's it. This is our answer. Okay. Right. Remaining things will be continued in our next video. Okay. Thank you. Bye.